You are watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Chomjusha and Mugalu Muhammad on Sign Language. A very good evening and welcome in our top stories of the day. In UBC News Tonight, Muslims celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan. NWOYA urges President Museveni to hasten the anti-gay bill process. And still to come in our international stories, U.S. military forces ready to evacuate embassy personnel from Khartoum. Lastly, in our sports stories, Uganda's male junior golfers qualify for World Cup. Today, Muslims in Uganda joined millions around the world to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The faithful gathered at the old Kampala Mosque to offer prayers and celebrate with their loved ones. The Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Ramadan NWOYA, led the prayers and urged Muslims to continue living in harmony with their non-Muslim brothers and sisters.
Thousands of Muslims thronged different mosques across the country to celebrate Eid al-Fitr to mark the end of Ramadan. At Old Kampala National Mosque, Eid prayers were led by His Eminence the Mufti of Uganda, Dr. Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje. During his sermon, Sheikh Mubaje appealed to the president to fasten the enactment of the anti-gay bill.
As Muslims, as religious leaders of different faiths, as human beings who know what is good and what is bad, we are eagerly waiting for His Excellency to sign that law. Otherwise, we are worried that Shaitan might be working around the clock to fail that law being signed into operation. It is our request that His Excellency answers the pleas and the prayers that he signs that bill into law.
Mubaje also took a swipe at the conflicting parties in the ongoing crisis in Sudan, urging them to resolve the conflict and avoid bloodshed.
We are deeply saddened and embarrassed by the situation which is taking place in the Sudan, in Khartoum. Muslim brothers who say La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah are the ones killing each other. As we talk now, the whole city or more cities are in smoke. Bodies are falling. People are dying. They are not performing the Eid as we are doing. It is very bad.
Muslims were also urged to fast the 6 days of Sitatil in order to complete Ramadan in the right way.
We have started the month of Shawwal with the Eid al-Fitr prayers. We shall also fast 6 days of this month as recommended by our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And we prepare, if we have ability and capacity, to go in Mecca and fulfill the obligatory and fulfill the 5 pillars of Islam.
Congregants expressed their joy towards successful completion of the holy month of Ramadan.
And Alhamdulillah, we have benefited a lot from it. And may Allah reward us abundantly from the ibadat we have done.
You know, as this economy was, it was just so simple. Yeah, yes. Allah has helped us and passed through the Saul. Inshallah.
They can give to the Muslims out there and see. They should always fast, they should always pray to Allah that they should get more blessings, I mean.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Prince Kasim Nachibinge has declared the sorry state of roads in the country and asked the government to increase on the budget for their construction and renovation, especially the ones within Kampala city. Nachibinge says that the roads in the city are pathetic and have resulted into loss of lives. Watch.
This is Prince Kasim Nachibinge's home, and seen here is a cross-section of Muslims he hosted to celebrate Eid al-Fitr after prayers at Chibuli Mosque. Nachibinge appealed to all road users to be careful while on the road in order to avoid road carnage.
Ekigambo ky'enguudo kisusse tutandise okulwanaganira akatundu akamu akasigaddewo era ekivaamu kukoonagana. Ebinnya bituuse okubanga emmotoka esobola okubuliramu mu kimu ate n'ojja nawo n'ogituulako. Tubasaba bannaffe mukole ku kigambo ky'enguudo wano ewaffe e Kampala. Twebaza nnyo bye musobodde okukola mu bitundu ebitali bimu ne Congo naye wano ewaffe nabo tubasaba mujjeeza wano najo mube nga mugikolako.
He asked government through the Works Ministry to make sure roads have signposts to direct drivers.
Obubenje bususse buli kaseera otunuulira ku TV okwo ne ku radio. Obubenje bussa abantu bannange tugondera amateeka g'ebyoku nguudo tubenga twewala endiima tusomenga obupande obw'oku nguudo tuleme kugwa mu bizibu na kuleetera abalala bonna bizibu.
Prince Kasim Nachibinge's remarks comes at a time when social media platforms are awash with campaigns aimed at exposing locations of various roads riddled with potholes within the city. The Supreme-moved Sheikh Mohammed Galabuzi said government should allocate enough funds for the city development. Kampala Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago was, however, dismayed by the increasing cases of corruption.
Bayise budget ekibuga kivunze. Obuwumbi omukaaga bwe bagambye nti bwe batuwadde obwo buswazi buntuntu temuli kantu era tebulina kye bugenda kola. Enguudo za Kampala zivunze jjajja ne zijja wano ewuwo ne bwe tutandika kuba kirakka tubanga abatunga empale enkadde w'okuba ekiraka wano nga kijja walala so ekyo tekijja kusoboka ate tulina n'okutya nti obwo obuwumbi omukaaga gye buyita.
The Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, in his speech, read by Deputy Prime Minister for Buganda Kingdom, Twaha Kawase, asked government to invest in more social services for the development of the country. The Chibuli Muslims also want government to release all political prisoners arrested before, during and after the 2021 elections and are still being held at various detention facilities in the country. Different political icons attended Eid prayers at Chibuli Mosque. Sudat Kaye and Juman Samba, UBC News.
Mosques in Uganda have been filled to the brim as Muslims in Uganda celebrated Eid al-Fitr. Our reporters have been across the country and report that the message almost everywhere focused on unity, corruption and the anti-homosexuality bill. Take a look.
Luwero Muslim District Qadi Sheikh Ramadan Mulindwa has urged Ugandans to respect and embrace the prevalent peace across the country to empower themselves economically, socially and politically.
As Ugandans, we have a collective responsibility to ensure that we keep the peace that we are enjoying today, which was brought by the NRM government. Let us be very jealous by keeping the peace at our villages, keeping peace at our workplaces, keeping peace wherever we go as Ugandans.
This was during Eid al-Fitr prayers at Luwero main Muslim district headquarters, during which he also reminded men to take financial responsibility for their families to avoid vices like homosexuality. Katikamu North Legislator Dennis Sekabira tasked government to facilitate development of Luwero, which is the political mecca that can ably grow minus the incessant corruption.
There is no link whatsoever between Mecca and Luwero.
Masindi District Qadi Sheikh Yahaya Mugisa Safiani was insistent on his appeal for the anti-homosexuality bill to become law. At Kijura Mosque, Sheikh Mohammed Sozi asked Muslims to be peaceful as they celebrate Eid with help to the needy at the forefront.
Nkushima abasilamu bona abanyakusayire salatu al-Eid
ya mwaka gunu kandi nimbasaba abasiramu nyona abasayire musobole kuba ni mwerabya kurungi muliye kurungi na bagenzi banyu muterabya kubi kandi musemererwe ensemererwe hikire.
Kibale District Kadhi Sheikh Mohammed Singoma has asked Muslims to love their country and denounce social evils like corruption, sectarianism, murder and immorality.
Let's fight acts of tribalism, sectarianism, corruption, because acts that makes us not to grow as Muslims, as a country, as the whole world. Let's try to fight them. Let's try to fight those acts, and let's install morals in our children and the whole society at large.
This was during Eid al-Fitr prayers at Kagadi Town Mosque. Kagaji District Head of Dawa Sheikh Isaac Semakula reminded Muslims about patriotism and urged them to embrace government programs on education, health and wealth creation, as well as nurturing children into responsible citizens.
tubakuze tutya era tukole tutya okubeera nga tufune eggwanga eddungi erinakulembera abantu abalungi mu maaso awo inshallah taala n'okuweerera abaana basome enkola eriwo kati buli muntu yenna kusoma.
Muslims in Kabale have been warned to desist from tendencies that promote social media nudity if the blessings of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr are to flourish in their lives. Kabale District Kadhi Sheikh Kabulure asked government to fight the increasing tendencies of land grabbing in the country.
I want to call upon the government and the parliament to make sure that they fight the vice of land grabbing, because it has become the order of the day. So it is our prayer and our request that government works on that so that our people can live in harmony.
Eid al-Fitr is celebrated by Muslims worldwide because it marks the end of the month-long dawn to sunset fasting of Ramadan.
Muslims around the world have celebrated the holy feast of Eid al-Fitr, which follows one of the pillars of the Muslim faith of fasting. The pillars of the Muslim faith include profession of faith, shahada, prayer, salat, alms, zakat, fasting Ramadan and pilgrimage Hajj, which many have honored to the holy city on this Eid day and made the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia a great spectacle.
كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
Well, it was a beautiful day that our Muslim brothers and sisters celebrated their Eid day. Moving on from the Eid stories, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha-Museveni, has met with His Excellence Jan Sadek, the Ambassador and Head of the European Union delegation to Uganda, with whom they held a dialogue on the EU programs and possible areas of cooperation. Take a look.
The EU Ambassador, accompanied by the Head of Cooperation, Karin Aldrensen, paid a courtesy call on the First Lady at State House Nakasero. The EU envoys updated the First Lady on the various areas that the EU and Government of Uganda are cooperating in and the 3 priorities that have been defined for collaboration in the coming 7 years. Mrs. Museveni expressed the need for more comprehension of the current programs that the Ministry of Education and Sports and the EU can cooperate in.
I think we need to really pick up on our cooperation. I believe we could do a lot more together if we can learn about what areas we can cooperate in. It would help to focus on what we can do together and do it well. I know we could learn ever so much about what you do and your methods of work that sustain what you do. And it would help us to really do a good job on whatever we set ourselves to do.
She talked about her desire to introduce an identification system in Uganda's education sector, similar to the Swedish identification number system, where everyone has a unique number throughout life, right from birth. She urged that this will help bring some discipline in the education system, because if every learner had a unique number, it would be easy to track data pertaining to individuals, especially in the examination process.
If there is any way we can benefit from the Swedish system, really, to help our national identity system, I would be so grateful. And I specifically wanted to start with the education system, because it helps with examination and to track all the data.
The minister also pointed out the challenge of wearing santal towels for the girl child and said she is looking for funding to enable the production of santal towels on a large scale and which will be easily accessed by the young girls. Mrs. Museveni drew attention to the commendable work that the EU funded in Karamoja region under the Peace Recovery and Development Plan for northern Uganda during the time she was the Minister for Karamoja Affairs. This, she said, included construction of police stations and drilling of dams for water for animals, among others. According to Ambassador Jean Sadek, 3 main priorities of the EU program defined for collaboration in Uganda for the coming 7 years are green transition, jobs and growth, and governance matters. He acknowledged Uganda's generosity to refugees and said that the refugee response is an important aspect of the EU and Government of Uganda relationship. He reported that together with other ambassadors from the EU partner states, visited Kisoro district in February and witnessed the challenge of the refugee influx in the country, and they have stepped up their funding to the refugee response.
And we also very much acknowledge the Ugandan generosity in terms of refugees. So you're taking from South Sudan, from DRC. So I would say that the refugee response is a very important aspect of the EU-Uganda relationship, that we think we are, taking seriously the matter and also making available funding for UNHCR and for the Ugandan response.
Reporting for UBC, Bakuma William.
Former Vice President Dr. Wandera Specioza Kazibwe has called for the establishment of a council to corruption-related issues in the country. Kazibwe, who was Uganda's first Vice President, says that dishonesty fuels corruption, adulteration of peace, and moral decadence. This was during an exclusive interview with the UBC News crew, as you're about to witness.
Even the money we have now, if we used it efficiently, we wouldn't need to borrow.
Former Vice President Dr. Specioza Wandera Kazibwe says the mission to end corruption in the country has called for honest and a collective effort to stop corruption.
You find that people with the money seem to be the ones who are above the law. So they go around, they cause people to actually be treated as criminals.
The senior presidential advisor on population and health issues says the fight against corruption is a daunting challenge that can only be overcome with honesty and a patriotic spirit.
When you see things happening like this, is where you go back to the Constitution. How do you handle leaders who are corrupt and will not stand down? If you are accused and there is a charge put upon you for that act, recuse yourself from the position which is related to that act.
This was during an exclusive interview with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation news crew in Kampala, where the former VP blamed weak law enforcement, impunity and disrespect of the constitution as some of the habits fueling corruption in the country.
Is where you catch the thief and you find them in the hole and you leave them free to hang around. And somebody has even taken back. That is enough evidence to show that you committed the act. Do you have the moral authority to remain minister? Some of them are saying they actually took them to their constituencies for public good. That is diversion, because that money was not voted for a church in your constituency.
The former vice president proposes for the establishment of a Senate and independent punitive body to identify and respond to any sign of corruption in accordance to the laws of the land.
Because it's like there's an impasse in the government now. We envisaged that situation. In the CA, you go to the Hansard. So this body will go to the Hansard and pull out all those views the Constituent Assembly Hansard. Really, we must have that dialogue as Uganda, non-partisan. In the parties, there is corruption. In the what, there is corruption. So you have a corrupt mind, corrupt body, corrupt thoughts. So when somebody comes to you and you know you are corrupt in one way, making a decision which is good for Ugandans, you even fear, because you are at gunpoint, that person will expose you.
Kaziwe's argument is based on the fact that President Yoweri Museveni, in his wisdom, is always committed to institute a result-oriented cabinet within which individuals later let him down.
That man we call our president is a good man, but we let him down. We the people who under the Constitution, he's ultimately accountable, but the Constitution gives him the powers to delegate to officials things to do. Do they do them? When they don't do them, what happens?
Kaziwe says Uganda is a God-fearing country which bases its leadership on the biblical teaching that seeks to get a corrupt-free nation.
Give us this day our daily bread. So why should I steal to secure tomorrow? How will I know I will be there tomorrow? Give us this day our daily bread. So I do my best today, and God will secure my tomorrow.
The news crew had sought for her views on a wide range of issues prevailing in the country.
The problem is with us, the Ugandans. A lot of knowledge, we don't give it to the people. A lot of knowledge about the law, we don't educate the people. Otherwise, the Constitution itself is a very beautiful document.
Daniel Mugoya, Stephen Kalisia, UBC News.
There was drama in NWOYA district as the district councillors convened an emergency council meeting and passed a resolution seeking approval of the appointing authority to remove or transfer the current resident district commissioner of NWOYA district, Mr. Omara Christopher.
During a heated emergency district council meeting at NWOYA District Council Hall, 20 out of 23 district councillors of NWOYA voted for the removal and transfer of the current NWOYA District RDC, Christopher Omara.
Since the Local Government Act, Cap 243, Section 73, empowers the council to recommend to the appointing authority to remove a resident district commissioner with reasons by resolution of council, I therefore move that Mr. Omara Christopher must be removed from NWOYA district with immediate effect. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move.
While debating this motion, members of the council accused the RDC of fueling sectarianism, fraud and misappropriation of facilitation fund meant for the delegation that attended a presidential wealth creation tour in Gulu City.
The council also proposes that RDC should vacate the Speaker's chamber
RDC has all along been sitting in the Speaker's office. Now we are querying that, doesn't the State House have money to rent for the RDC? Since the inception of NWOYA district, RDC is living in the office of the Speaker. RDC is staying with the Speaker, is interfering with the office of the Speaker. To the extent one day the office of the Speaker was broken. So the Council found that he should vacate the office of the Speaker, the chamber immediately, to allow the functionality. The clerks should sit there, the Deputy Speaker should be there, the Council launch should be there.
In his absence, NWOYA District Chairman Emmanuel Orach and his deputy accused Christopher Omara for disrupting development of the district.
How would somebody with the same mind say that a home that has a head, a home that has a father, a home that has a leader, has no leader at all, and yet there are these brilliant minds from different places that were brought in office for the next 5 years? Derogatory, Mr. Speaker, and such can never happen. We thank the President that he has an ear that listens.
The RDC was on different platforms, informal platforms, to say that the council resolution was unlawful. An example is a letter he wrote to the DPC. I do not remember the date, but the letter is there. He wrote a letter to the DPC asking for an investigation. Mr. Speaker, that is unlawful because there are procedures and there are steps that a law-abiding citizen like the RDC and that caliber should have followed.
However, the accused RDC describes the people who are baying him for his blood as ideologically malnourished.
Later, I realized that over 40 bicycles were smuggled out of the district stores. I started following that matter. I discovered the district speaker and the district chairperson distributed the bicycles among themselves. LC5 councillors, they distributed all the bicycles among themselves and their friends, and some of them sold it. They fear that this one might remove them from power in 2026. The communities are very bitter with them because if you are talking about poor performance in education, you want to mobilize people and the LC ones are supposed to contribute. How comes that you distribute their bicycles among yourself?
According to Omara, some district technocrats have connived with politicians to cover their corruption acts after he ordered for their arrest and recovery of 170 million PDM funds.
The truth is that when we had a meeting at Kochigoma Town Council, the councillors were accused of collecting revenue themselves, other than the parish chief, other than the town agent, and they are the ones who were in a meeting. And we said that is totally unacceptable. They are the ones who had printed their own receipt or collecting taxes. They have accepted the other time. When I went to Kochigoma, a councillor LC3 told me, Mr. RDC, we have stopped.
The tension between politicians and the RDC of NWOYA started at the beginning of last month after the Minister of Local Government, Raphael Majezi, reportedly held an abrupt visit to the district to convince councillors not to proceed with the petition.
With freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
It's the encounters with our majestic gorillas. The thrill of taking on the falls of the Nile River. The joy of discovering new traditions and a lot more. Join us at the 2023 Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo from the 26th to the 29th of April at the Commonwealth Resort, Munyonyo. Rediscover our country's uniqueness and see what the tourism sector has in store for you. Visit www.poate.co.ug to secure your spot and get set to learn, network and explore. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board in partnership with Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Projects. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too!
Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the future of Uganda. And as a policy maker, the policies I enact today will protect her from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family,
dial star 100 star 10 hash.
Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today.
Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In our business stories, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline officials have launched a liaison office in Masaka City intended to address issues of the people affected by the oil pipeline within the district of Greater Masaka. The Deputy Managing Director of ECOP Uganda, Engineer John Bosco Habumjeshe, explains that the office is intended to enhance its presence in the project areas in the different hub locations along the pipeline.
Districts of Greater Masaka have acquired an East African Crude Oil Pipeline Liaison Office. The office will benefit people of Rengo, Gomba, Zimbabwe, Rakai and Chotera districts. The Deputy Managing Director, EACOP Uganda, John Bosco Habumugisha, says EACOP is not involved in polluting the environment.
Of these elements that you have encountered, please bring them to us and we deal with them. I can assure you there is no district we cross where there are elephants. You know that. Now when you see pictures of people saying we have killed an elephant, what do you understand? Those are people who are anti-development.
He said the project is intended to fight poverty amongst Ugandans.
We were all able to say no to poverty. Because poverty stands in the middle of progress, and that's one of the vices we must fight in our communities. Now, ECOP is here to contribute to that journey.
Laura Sezi, the brand and communication strategist at Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, says the availability of the office will create more business and employment opportunities for the people within Masaka sub-region.
African Crude Oil Pipeline is such a transformative project that it will not only create employment opportunities, but it's also going to play a key role in enhancing the social and economic development of Uganda. The pipeline will transport crude oil from Hoima to Tanga, as most of you know, and this will create a new route for Uganda to access global markets.
That which are supposed to be served by this office. The other Hoima, others come, we shall also be introduced. We shall come here when we have issues, and they will be solved from here.
This office in place, I hope we shall not lag anything behind. We shall always use this office to achieve successful implementation of the ECOP.
The Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, Lwengo District, Hasifwa Nabakoza, says that most of the promises made by the implementers were fulfilled.
Officials of Lwengo District, they are very grateful. They have received their funds. People are already sleeping in comfortable houses. So, as the technical team and on behalf of the political team, we are very grateful. We pledge to make
Guilherme Lesage, Commercial Director Jacob, says Jacob is committed to seeing everyone benefit from the project.
We intend to protect environment, protect the country, and make sure that the impact that the pipeline may have will have no consequences or only positive consequences.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry con with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava! Best group is I teach you. But never come up with the squad because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry car.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the hope of our community. And as a community leader, I will talk to others about how we must protect her against child marriage and teenage pregnancy because it affects us all. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Now, from the international scene, 10 members of the same family have been shot dead in an attack, on their home in South Africa, police says. 7 females and 3 males were killed when their home near the city of Pietermaritzburg was ambushed early on Friday morning. Police Minister Becky Cele said 2 suspects have been arrested, 1 was shot dead and another is still at large. The motive is very unclear. South Africa has one of the world's highest murder rates, and police were fast alerted to the shooting after neighbors had gunshots. This part of South Africa is known for featuring regularly in national crime stats for murder rates, a problem that has plagued it for a long time. It's the second mass shooting in KwaZulu-Natal province this week after 4 people were shot and killed on Thursday at another home north of the port city of Durban.
With freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial star 100 star 21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
The 4-day All-Africa Junior Golf Championship has climaxed with Ugandan delight at the Par 72 Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa in Chigo. Sentamu John Barnes has a detailed report on this story.
Uganda National Junior Boys Golf Team defied the odds to qualify for the prestigious 2023 Toyota Golf World Cup that will be hosted by Tokyo, Japan between 20th and 23rd June 2023. The feat comes after securing second position behind champion South Africa at the All-Africa Junior Golf Championship that has climaxed at the Par 72 Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa in Kigo. Uganda's team was spurred by Captain Regan Joseph Akena, Juma Abiti, Ibrahim Semakula and Abdu Kaketo.
First of all, this competition showed me that giving up is nothing. So we must stay focused and never give up. That's the most important thing.
They garnered 940 gross scores for the best 3 players to bag the silver medal. Uganda's head coach Flavia Namakula expressed delight upon the hard-fought qualification that came after a poor 3 opening rounds.
I expected it when I spoke to them yesterday after the game. They were positive. Yeah, I was so tough on them. I mean, we've been on this course training for the last two weeks. So I expected it, just that in the 2 days they kind of put themselves under pressure. But I told them we don't need the pressure. You have the home. This is our home course, so we need to take advantage of it. And yeah, I mean, I told them to calm down, play their game, play their normal game. Yeah, and that's what made us take the second position.
South Africa followed up last year's success in Egypt with defense of both boys and the girls' title. Uganda's girl team that had Frist Abidabwa, Vivian Wanoka Chen and Winnie Musuya finished 4th overall, an improvement from 6th in Egypt last year. 15 countries including Zimbabwe, Kenya, Tunisia, Tanzania, Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia, Egypt, Mauritius, Botswana, Tanzania and Gabon took part in the 72 holes 4-day championship.
Well, thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Chomjisha and Magala Mohammed on Sign Language. Have a lovely night and a great weekend ahead of you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
UBC Inspire.